OpenAI just made your browser obsolete. Seriously, think about it, what you do right now, how you use your browser. You have dozens of tabs staring back at you. Like myself, I have 15 tabs open on my computer. You copy text from one article, paste it into the other for an AI tool to get the summary, and then you're drafting the email, which you're using another window to do that. It's kind of a mess right now. It's a constant juggling between one tab, one application, and copy pasting back and forth. What if all of this chaos just completely disappeared? What if your browser was an active partner that actually understood what you're trying to accomplish and help you do that much, much faster? Well, that's not hypothetical anymore. Since the launch of the internet in early 90s, your browser hasn't really changed a lot. Well, yes, it got faster. You have added a lot of extensions to make it smarter, but the core experience it's pretty much exactly the same. It's a passive window into the internet. You search, you click, you read, you try to manage a bunch of tabs that seems to be multiplying every single time that you take a look at it. All that digital chaos is killing your focus. As a matter of fact, according to American Psychology Association, task switching can reduce productivity by up to 40%. And an average professional like you and I, we switch between tabs and application over 1,200 times a day. Now, every time you're jumping from your research paper that you're looking at to the notes to ChatGPT or another tab like a Gmail, you're breaking your concentration and impacting your productivity. You've gotten so used to the fragmented workflow that it starts to feel normal because it's kind of becoming a habit, but it's not really productive. You use your browser to find information, but the second you want to use that information to analyze and write about it or create a project out of it, you have to leave the browser because the browser is a portal, but actually it's a very dumb portal. It throws you into the web, but it doesn't really help you navigate it intelligently until now. OpenAI has finally launched its own browser. It's called ChatGPT Atlas. Now, it's not just another competitor for a Chrome, like a Me Too one. It is a complete reimagination of what a browser should be in the age of AI. Now, this is not just a browser with ChatGPT as tasked on the sidebar. You may have seen that. It is a browser built around ChatGPT from ground up. The best way to think about it, it is less like a browser, more like a super assistant for the web. Now, the idea is simple, but it's very revolutionary. Now, your browser should technically have all the context because you're doing a lot of work with your browser. You're searching information. It should know what you looked at. It should know what you have looked at before. And finally, what are you trying to accomplish? With ChatGPT Atlas, the AI is a permanent co-pilot woven directly into the interface. It can read the page you are on, it can summarize the articles, and draft those emails without you ever switching between the tabs, which is, in my mind, is phenomenal. And while some advanced features are only for subscribers, the core browser is available for everyone to try and use. This is a shift from a tool that just shows you information to a partner that helps you process it and act on it. So let's jump in and see how it actually works. I'm going to go walk feature by feature. I've been using ChatGPT Atlas since the launch the last few days, and some of the features in my mind are extremely useful. First, the most obvious one, which is context-aware assistant. Now, because ChatGPT is built in, you can highlight any text on the web page or have a page open and start asking questions without having to switch the window. So let's say if you're reading your executive report that has been published online, or you're reading a 5,000 word scientific paper, instead of spending an hour dissecting it, you can just ask Atlas, summarize this article and list the 3 main arguments presented in the article. Seconds later, you're going to get a perfect project brief. For executives and researchers or anyone that reads a lot, this alone is going to save significant amount of time. But hold on, it gets really better. Imagine you're writing an important email in the Gmail. With your old browser, what do? You'd copy the text, paste it into ChatGPT to make it sound better and professional, and then paste it back. It's kind of a clumsy process. With Atlas, the AI is in the text field itself. You can highlight the sentence and tell it to make it sound more professional, or shorten its paragraph and rewrite it in line. That copy paste process that you were doing before, it's gone. Next is browser memories. Atlas can remember the key ingredients from the sites you have already visited. Now, privacy is really important for me, so it's completely optional and it is controlled by the user. You can delete the specific memories or tell it to ignore the certain sites that you don't want it to have. But when it's on, it's like giving your browser a working memory, which in my mind is super powerful. Remember planning a vacation when you have those 15 tabs, you're trying to compare the flights and hotels only to close a window by accident and you're like, I lost that information. With memories, you can just say, show me the travel sites I looked at yesterday. Or if you're doing a research project, you could say, help me finish the outline I started. And Atlas is going to pull up the key resources you have already explored. It turns your browser from a tool that forgets everything to an assistant that remembers what you're doing, which is powerful. Finally, the agent mode. Now this one's truly feel futuristic. It lets ChatGPT take control of your browser to perform multiple tasks for you. When you enable it, you can watch as AI is going to come to life, which is going to open the tabs, click on the elements, fill out the forms as well. For example, you could say, research the top 5 SaaS vendors for enterprise automation. Compare their pricing and summarize the key pros and cons. Atlas will browse the vendor website, it will pull the key details and compile a really neat summary. Now this kind of work normally is going to take hours. Now it can be done within minutes within your browser itself. From a privacy standpoint, you're always in control. It is going to ask you permission before taking specific action. And it is in a sandbox mode, so it cannot access your file or install extensions on its own. For complex research or data gathering processes, agent mode is going to give you a glimpse into the future where you're delegating the task to your browser instead of trying to do the task on your own. And for leaders and managers, this is more than just a convenience. In my mind, I think it's a shift in the leverage. Atlas reduces the cognitive load and handling by repetitive digital tasks that we normally do on a day-to-day basis, which is clogging up our day. So instead of bouncing between the apps and tabs, you're going to say focus on decision and strategy while AI is going to handle all the mechanical steps that are involved. Now, is ChatGPT Atlas the perfect replacement for Chrome? Well, not yet, because agent mode is still experimental. This browser only launched a few days ago. While it's powerful, it can still get stuck or make mistakes. So a human supervision is very important, like any other AI tool. Now, you probably don't want to book non-refundable flights without checking the work that the AI agent mode is doing in Atlas. Now, the biggest concern is privacy. A browser can remember everything that you work on sounds really unsettling. So OpenAI knows that, and has a built-in control to manage that. Browser memory is opt-in and it's not on by default. You can see the memory and delete it, and anything that Atlas stores can be deleted. And your browser content is not going to be used to train the model unless you allow it. Similar to the ChatGPT setting, you can prevent that from happening. So you're responsible for managing your own privacy settings. And finally, from an availability standpoint, as of the launch right now in October 2025, GPT Atlas is only available on Mac OS. OpenAI did say that Windows and Android version are coming very soon, but for now, most users are waiting for their turn. Despite these limitations, I believe ChatGPT Atlas is more than just a browser product. It's a new way of thinking about how to navigate the internet. Now, for years, we have been operating and doing all these tasks on our own. We're doing the clicking, we're typing and researching. Atlas is basically flipping that script. In this case, you're becoming a director and the browser itself is the operator. It reframes from browsing a manual task into a conversation and a collaboration between your intent and the machine as an execution. At a business level, this means something even bigger. Corporations are already starting to move from manual digital workflows where employees are clicking and copy and pasting and repeating to AI-assisted operation workflows where tools like Atlas are going to handle the busy work. So leaders can focus on higher and more powerful thinking like judgment, creative problem solving, while AI is going to take care of the digital labor. This to me is a foundation of the next era of digital transformation, where productivity is going to scale through intelligent automation, not by human repetition. which is going to be pretty much fundamentally changing how we work in our organizations. So the question is your old browser truly obsolete? Well, if you use a browser just to read the news, check the emails, probably not. Chrome and Safari are just fine for you. But if your work involves deep research, constant writing, or managing complex projects like mine does, then the answer is yes. The efficiency boost from an integrated AI partner like Chrome, ChatGPT Atlas is too big to ignore. ChatGPT Atlas is not just a better browser, it is a different kind of browser. It is an active participant and not necessarily a passive window into the internet. And remembers all things that you're doing and helps you do it much, much better. Now, it might not kill Chrome overnight, but it's definitely the first step towards the next era of the internet. So I have a question for you. What do you think? Is it the convenience of AI super smart assistant worth the privacy trade-off? Are you ready to make the switch? Put your comments in the chat. I would love to hear it. And if you want to continue to gain the knowledge on how this agentic economy is going to work, watch my next video, which talks about the 5 AI agent hacks that the executives are using to double and triple their productivity.